His parents are very forward-thinking. They wanted him to come in and get this taken care of before he went to school so that he could deal with the socialization process in school from a more normal point of view, and he's just doing great.
I like going to swimming.
There was some money problems, some financial strife in our life, and we were really trying to deal with that in the best way.
I had a fear of success. You know, I was unconsciously repelling people or unconsciously repelling money.
Craig Johnson, he came in because he was having financial problems, and we worked on that. We probably did a half a dozen repatternings on his financial issues, and they were very profound, and they went back to his childhood.
When you're black, we'll go ahead and say that, there's a stigmatism that if you are intelligent, then you're trying to be white. Well, as I was growing up, I learned that, you know, it wasn't cool to be white. So rather than being smart and intelligent, I decided that, you know, I don't have to be first. I can be second or third or fourth and still be cool and still be smart, but not be the smartest. And so it was basically, I'd become, again, like I said, less than, feeling less than, that I didn't feel like I was worthy of having all the success. And so it helped me realize that, yeah, it's mine. I deserve it. And so that was one of the things that it helped me accept. And that's made me much happier.
Those issues have cleared up really quickly and has made our relationship much better.
He's making so much money now. It's just amazing, and he's so talented. He deserved to be making that all along. He just had these old beliefs, these old patterns that he hadn't gotten rid of that came up in the repatternings, and he's just doing great.
My knee was hurting, and so I went through chiropractic, acupuncture. None of it helped. And so I did the repatterning, and it helped. And the knee problem went away, and I haven't had any knee problems since that time.
Repatterning just brings such an awareness of even unconscious events that you're not aware of, or unconscious thoughts or patterns that you're not aware of. And it brings those to the surface and clears them out. And then they're not there anymore. It's like they're just erased. So when situations come up and you go, oh, that's how I would have handled it, you know, a week ago, had I not done the repatterning session, it's amazing that that thought doesn't even cross your mind anymore, or that action is totally different.
I was downsized about 1.5 years ago, so I'm going into a new field, and it has definitely helped. I have a much easier time with the interactions of difficult people I deal with on the phone all day long. And you know, part of a project manager is being able to come up with solutions for more difficult problems, and I don't trifle over those things anymore. I seem to have a better approach and a much clearer understanding of how to resolve issues.
There's all kinds of things that happen from one session. They're extremely rich, and they're highly educational. You learn a lot about yourself. At
the end, when I walked out, I definitely felt I was different. I was a different person when I walked out than when I walked in. I describe it as somebody taking a 60-pound backpack off my back.
I've done it all. I'm in the business of transformation. My life is one walking transformation. So I've done neurolinguistic programming, I've done the landmark education, I've done synchronicity leadership, ontological design. I've done a lot. And this is actually the piece that I could made the significant leap. It's like all those other technologies only allows you access to the head. And what I realized really needed to happen was we needed to get all these new conversations down to a cellular level. So I could really create a new reality that was consistent with who I knew myself to be, but my behaviors weren't that way. So we've now got the behaviors consistent with the actions of who I see myself to be. So I'm able to actually be out in the world and have a larger presence. I can see the difference in my business. I can see now that I'm ready for a larger platform to share my message. I'm going after bigger accounts and just like bar the door Katie, I'm just like unstoppable.
After a session, like my first session, I could feel this compassion start to come over me for certain people in my life that actually I was not very compassionate for. I was intolerant at this point in my life. I was really like a little bit disappointed in family members' actions and saw the whole story, living with them from a young girl on and now being, you know, midway through my life and realizing that there are things that I don't have to tolerate, but I don't have to hold resentment for either.
As they go further into the intimacy thing, they begin to see that it's scarier and scarier. But as they get rid of all of the stuff that's in the way of that and raise their frequencies, what happens is, of course, you know, it's replaced with love and compassion, and it is an amazing process.
My story is that in one session, I swear, I got like 5 years of therapy out of the way. I don't think they would have uncovered it in 5 years of therapy. They had, you know, it was incredible. I don't think I ever would have uncovered this issue. It was so and you know, and my issues aren't, I don't have anything like my dad died or anything traumatic like that, but it doesn't matter. There are still issues that I had that were blocking me in my well-being and the happiest that I can be right now or in my life. And I think that it's important for all of us to try to heal and be as happy as we can so that then we can serve others and give back, you know, to others and to the planet. They're identifying children that are at risk, like we're starting in kindergarten, and they're trying to keep mentors there for these kids to identify with, that, you know, they can have someone they can look up to and get them through high school. What if we can have a holographic repatterner come in, you know, and help, just assist in the process of therapy. Mary works with our therapist.
Holographic repatterning teaches people to be able to get in touch with their feelings, and not just later, but in the moment while they're in them, and then be able to state how they're feeling, and then be able to state what it is that they need in order to be safe, to feel protected, to feel like the world is a place that's going to support them.
Some psychotherapists say that they feel this will be the therapy of the future, and social workers have found it very, very helpful, very beneficial, where they're really dealing with difficult social situations in poor areas of some of the big cities, and they're using this. There's a wonderful place in New York City which is absolutely based on holographic repatterning, the Highbridge Center, where they're using it with their staff and with the people coming in for help, and finding that they can get extremely effective results much more efficiently, much more quickly. And Phoenix, a fabulous teacher, was using it in her classes, children who were before exams and tests, and they were so nervous and worried, and she'd just muscle check what they needed and give it to them to do, and they were calm and relaxed for their exams and getting wonderful results. They were doing much better on their tests, learning if they came to math and they were resonating with being no good at math or no good at writing. She'd just do a little quick session for them, an intention, so then they could resonate with writing with ease and learning math easily, and for being calm. A lot of children, they get quite bored in school and fidgety and so on. So there is no limit to what it can't be used for. I can really see it being used in prisons and hospitals and schools and psychotherapeutically and in the corporate world. And another area, of course, that I would love to develop in the future is in terms of mediation. There is so much violence going on in our world, and how can this be used to really help people come into personal coherence and relationship coherence, a higher energy state of personal and relationship coherence, and how that could support mediating these differences that people have. I look at the crime rate that's going up, and this work really addresses that because there's something called the suppressed image that of the reptilian brain. When we've experienced violence in our childhood, then really one of two things happens. We either go in the same direction, becoming violent, or we're on the receiving end of violence. So either of those two places are asking for healing. We have had some research work done on it, which has been very interesting. We need to do much more in terms of research, but it was very, very heartwarming to see what came out of the research, that I think it's something like 95% of the people felt that it was very beneficial, 65% got very good results, and so on. We have no idea how powerful we are. We are extraordinary beings of unending possibilities. And most of us are living very small lives. We can be much bigger than we are, much bigger. And this system is really about our greatness. It doesn't matter who we are, what our past was, what our upbringing was about.
I believe the world needs holographic repatterning, and I hope a lot of people find out about it.
I'd recommend it to anybody.
I think everybody in the whole world should go through holographic repatterning. I think the world would be a lot a better place.
I think repatterning is for everyone.
I come from a psychology background, a physical fitness background, medical background. If it's not in the books of medicine, then it probably isn't something that you should do. But if you try it and it works for you, then it's something that you need to continue to doing. So try it. Don't be skeptical. Be skeptical, but do it anyway.
It's a tool. It is a fabulous, amazing tool based in ancient knowledge, and it's working for very intelligent and all from all different backgrounds. I just find it fascinating. If even one person can get healed from this, it's worth it. But I think more can.
I believe that if you can get the children in my office or in a holographic repatterner's office when they're young and pull out those patterns of behavior and those energetic blocks that create patterns of behavior later on in life, these children have such a chance, such an opportunity to live a life that you and I don't know about, a different life. And that's really where my heart lies with it. That's where I think that holographic repatterning can make a big difference in the world.
We are so powerful. In India, the great mystics, the great spiritual adepts there, they've always said that who we are in our essence is the light of 10 suns. I mean, that's extraordinary, that kind of radiance, that kind of power. We don't even know who we are. And living our lives in small ways. And we're very great. We have unending possibilities for goodness, for greatness, for love, for being worthy of the infinite. And this is just one system that supports us in spiraling up and going on our life journey. It's really just a support and a help in our life journey that we can use at any time we need it. And then as we become more coherent, each time we spiral up to a higher energy state, we'll be led to those people, those places that will keep us journeying forward for what's most beneficial for us, most energizing, most healing. Yeah.